Hello YouTubers and YouTubies, North Coast T here. Today we're going to be working on a 2008 Chevy HHR. More specifically, driver's door panel. In this video, it's going to cover things like removing the door panel, replacing the handle. If you got a broken one, these break a lot. This one's fine. My door panel is torn here, which is very common as well. So that's why I'm going to replace it. And also, I'll show you how to replace the power mirror switch. So let's get started. The tools needed for this job are a pry tool and a T30 if all you're doing is replacing the power mirror switch. If you're replacing the door handle, which means you got to remove the whole door panel, you're going to need your T30, your pry bar, needle nose, Phillips screwdriver, drill, and of course the kit that comes with the drill bit and the screws to put the handle back on. This is your little kit that comes with the new handle. You got your router bit, 16mm, super glue, your screws and washers. They're just tiny little screws, but that's going to hold your new handle on. You want to start with a small pry tool or screwdriver, flat blade. There's a little notch right there. There's a plastic shield that covers that screw there, so you pop that plastic out. Mine wasn't there. Then in the bottom of your handle, you might be able to grab it, or you might have to pry it out, but should be a cover, little rubber cover that covers those two screws. So you pop those two out, and then now you start taking out the screws. There's 3 T30 Torx. Once you remove your 3 screws, 2 in the bottom of there, and then 1 up here. This one's the only one that's different. It's got a shoulder on it. The 2 in the base of this cup are the same. Once you get those out, you gotta pry up on this handle cup on the back of it. Mine's damaged, so I can get my finger right underneath the back of it. But be careful not to break this cup, because if you're replacing your whole door handle panel like me, the new one, well, the one from the junkyard did not come with a cup, so I have to try not to break it. It just pulls up in the back, kind of sits underneath there, and then the front, a notch here that goes under here to hold it in place. So that's that. And if all you were doing is replacing your mirror switch, you'd only have to take out these 2 screws in the bottom of here, pull this out, and then your switch access is right here. Unplug it, and I am replacing that as well. I got a new one of those. They always give out. Now this switch here is the same for a bunch of years for the HHR, the Chevy Equinox, like 2005 through 2009, I think, has the same switch. It's just on the dash. It's not actually on the door panel, but it's the same switch. Malibus, Pontiac Torrent, Saturns, a lot of them use that same exact switch for the mirrors. So disconnect this plug, and then you can pry out on these edges here with your pry tool, and the whole switch will come out the bottom. And that's all you got to do if you're replacing just that. That's pretty simple. But I'm replacing that and my whole door panel, which this is actually plastic riveted to the back of the door panel. You'll need probably a little needle nose to pull the wire that goes to open the door, but other than that, we'll get into that when I get in there. So once you get this off and disconnected, you want to get your pry tool and start going around the edge of the door to pry off the door panel. So I'll get to that. Once that's all disconnected, as you're going to pry on the door, you'll find there's a little pin that was sitting right in there. So you just got to pop up the center, pull the center out, and then that pulls out. It looks like that's the only thing stopping you. After that, you can just start prying out on it and it'll come out. Once you pull out all the way around the door panel, you want to lift it over your lock, and it's supposed to hook in here. Mine, somebody must have been in here, it wasn't hooked correctly up here. So once you unhook that, you'll see how your handle wire is connected, and you get some plugs there. So let's start tackling that handle and that plug. What I just found out on the lock switch, they put the push tab against the door panel so you can't depress it. I mean, I guess you could if you really get in there, but what I found to be easier is gently pry out on these two tabs here, and the whole lock button and everything will pop out. So that's what I did there. And on the handle, see, if you pull the handle forward, you got the little cable in there. So you want to grab the cable and gently finesse it out of the handle. So I'm going to do that now. That's going to require two hands, but what I want to do is with it forward like that, I'll grab the cable and then gently let it go back, and I'll be holding the cable, but the handle will go back and it'll relieve the tension so I can pull it out. Okay, with the handle pulled out, this will be out further. I grabbed the cable with my needle nose, held it in place, and then slowly released the handle, and then pulled this hammer out of the handle, and then this whole piece lifts right out of the handle as well. I'll show you how it kind of sits in a groove. It locks into this groove. Now with the handle I bought the whole kit from Amazon. Comes with new screws, some washers, a special bit, some glue. It's a 16mm specialty bit. So what you got to do on the old one, if you're just replacing a broken handle, you got to drill out these plastic rivets. So this is made direct fit to just take out, just ever so slightly take off the tops of these plastic. It's actually not even rivets, it's just melted on there. So you slide this out, and then you slid it out of here, and then you're going to need your kit. Drill these out. There's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Drill those out. This whole handle will pop off. You take your new handle and you got to screw it on with those new screws. So somebody already took the liberty of breaking the new door panel I picked up. They broke the handle off of it before they realized it wasn't how to take it off, or it wasn't screwed or whatever. I don't know what they were thinking, but they broke it. So I got a handle, so now I just gotta put the new handle on that one. You want to make sure when you're putting in the new door panel, this little plastic tab here, you'll see there's some indents here. That's because on the inside of the door itself, there's 3 metal clips that grab this. I'll show you where those are. They're right along here at the top of the door. There's 3 of them. And as long as that plastic on the door panel goes on the outside of them, it'll pull this door panel up against the window where it's supposed to be. See, it's flush here. And it'll be flush against the window and then flush there. Not exactly 100% flush on the window. There's still some of that felt. But it's just tighter than it was. And then on the door lock, just slide it back into place. I never even unplugged it. And then the next thing we'll work on is putting in the mirror switch and the cup that goes in here. And we'll be all set. And I just popped it in along the bottom. You just hit it against the door and it pops right back in. Here's the new switch, mirror switch. It just snaps in from underneath. Those 2 tabs there and 2 on this side. And then when you go to put it back in, make sure you get this in first. Goes under and then snaps down the back. And then your 2 screws. Well, small problem. I was hoping to show you a finished job, but there's a light in here. So it glows when your lights are on. If you plug it in and it immediately has power and is lit up, it means it's defective. I ordered off Amazon, so it probably came from China, which means it is defective. So luckily I was testing it as it was plugged in before actually putting the rest of this back together. So it was still lit up, and one of the functions up didn't work. So gotta order another one. Well, after you put your new switch in, plug it in on the bottom, put in your 2 new, well, not your new, but your 2 Torx 30s, and you'll be all set. I can't finish today, so, and after the door's all buttoned up, you're all set. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you have a great day.